Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. A missing person may be tracked down because his personal history and habits are known. But when he has no predictable habits, the problem is difficult and becomes dangerous when those unpredictable habits are mixed with uncontrollable homicidal tendencies. Haldor Mattern, an ordinary-appearing man with extraordinarily strong hands, was such a person. The search for missing persons is a police function which the Highway Patrol is uniquely equipped to perform by reason of its mobility and widespread jurisdiction.
Here. This is where we found the last trace of him. The hat was lying right about there.
Doctor, when did you first miss him?
About an hour ago.
Can you give me his full name and his description?
Well, his name's Haldor Mattern. He's about 5'11", 160 pounds. He's about 54. He's gray hair. He's wearing the regulation uniform, you know, the gray pants and the gray shirt and sneakers.
Yeah, he could have gone any place, up and down this road or into the woods here.
Well, I brought his sweater. They said to bring something to give the dogs a scent.
Come here. $21.50 to headquarters.
Go ahead, 2150.
I'm on the north side of the Riverhead Mental Hospital. Here's a description of the escaped patient. Hold on. Go ahead, doctor.
5'11", 160.
5'11", 160 pounds, age 54. Gray pants, shirt.
No hat and sneakers.
No hat and sneakers. Have you got that? All right, hold on. I'll get back to you. They just brought the dogs in. 10-4?
10-4.
Here, let me have these. Take these. The dogs will get the scent from it.
Don't the dogs have to smell something that actually touches the ground, like shoes?
No, they'll pick the scent out of the air. Now, look, tell me more about this guy. His family, where he's from, who he knows on the outside.
Well, he has no family. He was brought to us after an Army medical discharge. We only know that in this confused state of mind, you can't tell what he's liable to do, what quirk his mind will take. But he tends to violence if triggered off.
And what's the trigger?
Well, the thing that triggers him off is usually his hands or violin playing. We do know that he was a frustrated violinist. We think that's what started his illness.
What set him off this time?
Same thing as last time. One of the patients at the hospital didn't believe him. You see, Mattern tells everyone that he's given concerts at Carnegie Hall.
The cunning of Haldor Mattern asserted itself again. Suspecting that bloodhounds would be brought into the search, he hit upon a simple ruse. He very carefully backtracked in his own footsteps from the water to the road. He knew that his scent would stop at the water, and he hoped that his pursuers would believe that he had entered it in an effort to elude the bloodhounds.
Must have picked up something. Come on, let's go. Probably went in the woods. He's heading for the highway on the other side. Have somebody bring my car around in case he gets through. Come on.
So you live in Stanfield, huh? Well, I'm glad to take you in. My farm's just back about 40 miles. Say, you know Mrs. Eileen Haley in Stanfield, a widow? Imagine me at my age, traipsing off on a 500-mile trip with a widow I never seen. Well, mister, your name slipped me.
Mattern. Halder Mattern, the violinist.
Well, sir, seeing as how 500 miles is a bit more than I care to drive myself, when I got this letter from this friend of mine I'm going to visit, I got it right here, you see. You know, asking me if I'd like to share the driving with this friend of his. That's just Mrs. Haley. Well, sir, I just jumped at the chance. Of course, I didn't just come right out and say, why, sure, I'll be glad to take her. No, sir. Mrs. Haley and me, we just kept writing back and forth to each other, you know, finding out about each other. A couple of weeks. You see, I don't want no long-winded woman burning my ears for 500 miles. No, sir. But she sounds nice, real nice. Plays the piano, so she wrote me. Say, you must have been working on your fiddle.
Why?
Well, that hand of yours. Gosh, you know, I caught my hand in a gear once and jumped like that for more than a year.
My hand does not jump.
Oh, well, it sure does.
My hand does not jump.
Well, mister, I'm not blind.
How could I play the violin if my hand jumped?
Are you sure you can? Play the fiddle?
They went in here all right.
Pretty good swim across that lake.
Well, he might have gone upstream or down to throw the dogs off.
Let's try it this way.
Right. Come on.
No luck.
Well, he didn't come out down there.
All right, try it up that way.
How far up you want me to go?
I don't know, about a half a mile?
Right. Come on.
I'm afraid, Mr. Wilson, I won't be able to talk intelligently about your work, farming. My field is music. I teach the piano now, and once upon a time played with the Dallas Symphony Orchestra. I will expect you about noon, Friday, September 8th. I'll be ready. I'm too old to keep gentlemen waiting. James Wilson, RFD 26, Glenville. Born December 20th, 1900. Height 5 feet 11. Weight 160. Eyes blue. Hair gray. James Wilson, you're my friend. You're going to help me to get away from here. You are too, Mrs. Haley.
Sure didn't come out of the stream that way.
Call from headquarters.
About what?
Dead man's been found in the brush about 3 miles up the highway. Farmer named Roback phoned in. He's at the scene now.
That could have been Madden or somebody you met. All right, keep looking. I'll go up the highway and take a look at the dead man.
Matthews. If you find Mattern, remember he's a mental patient. Try not to excite him. Excitement can trigger him off.
I'll try not to.
You believe in being on time. So do I. You are, Mr. Wilson.
Mrs. Haley?
You don't look exactly the way I expected, but I guess I don't either. Shall we go?
Oh, allow me. I'm a farmer. We're pretty strong.
Goodbye, dear.
Who is that?
My sister. We both couldn't go, so we drew straws. I was the lucky one.
With a report from headquarters that a dead body had been found 3 miles from where the bloodhounds had lost Mattern's trail, Dan Matthews feared that he would find the first victim of Mattern's homicidal mania.
It's not Mattern. Looks like he's got a broken neck. What can you tell me about this?
Well, not much. I was coming down the road, and this black sedan pulled out of the brush, almost hit me, and kept right on going, too, south. I stopped mad in the wet hen, and I figured, kind of funny the way he pulled out like that, so I went over to look, and...
Did you get the license number?
No, I didn't.
Can you describe the car and the driver?
Oh, just that it was a medium-sized sedan. That's all I remember, and... Oh, it was a fella driving.
$21.50 to headquarters.
Go ahead, 2150.
More in the Mattern case. Alert all units south of Riverhead. Mattern might be driving a sedan. What color?
It was black.
Black. Send out the coroner and the lab boys, too. 10-4?
10-4.
2150 to 1103.
Go ahead, 2150.
Check with me 3 miles south on Highway 7. Bring the dogs.
I'm so grateful to you for taking me. If you ever want me to drive...
If I get tired. Tell me, Mrs. Haley, were you a soloist with the Dallas Orchestra?
Oh, no. My piano playing isn't that good.
Pick it up, Annie. Pick it up, Ross. Pick it up, Annie.
There's no doubt about it, huh?
He was here, all right.
Mason! Make sure nothing's touched till the boys get here.
Mr. Matthews, shouldn't we concentrate on finding Mattern?
Well, if we can identify the body, we can identify his car. We know Mattern's driving. All we need to find it is a description and the license number.
They're on to something.
All right, take him away. Sales receipts. Made out to a James Wilson, RFD 26, Glenville. Madden must have planted these under the rock. 2150 to headquarters.
Go ahead, 2150.
Madden case. What disposition's been made of the unit south of Riverhead?
All roads under surveillance south of Riverhead.
Have we got a patrol at Glenville? That's north of me.
Stand by. 3240 just outside of Glenville.
Have him proceed to Glenville and check on a James Wilson, RFD 26. I want a description of him and the car he might have been driving south on Highway 7 in the vicinity of Riverhead at 11 a.m. today. 10-4?
10-4.
I'll proceed south on Highway 7. 10-4.
You know, I seem to remember in one of your letters you're saying that you didn't know anything about music.
Oh, I couldn't have.
May I see your license, please?
Of course, officer. Have it right in here. There you are.
You mind taking it out of there, please?
Are you looking for a robber?
No, ma'am. We're looking for a mental patient who escaped from the Riverhead Center Hospital this afternoon.
Is he dangerous?
Well, we aren't sure, ma'am. We stole a vehicle, though. Thank you. What's your date of birth, Mr. Wilson?
December 20th, 1900.
Where are you heading, ma'am?
We're going to Centerville to visit some friends.
Well, be careful. Don't pick up any strangers. The fellow we're looking for is rather elderly. We aren't sure how he's dressed. The clothes he has on are stolen.
Thank you, officer. We'll be careful.
You being so quiet, Mrs. Haley. What were you saying before?
Well, I was saying, hoping that he wasn't dangerous.
Who?
The man who escaped.
Oh, I mean, what were you saying about music before the patrolman stopped us?
Oh, well, I was saying that I was sure that you wrote me that you had no ear for music.
Nonsense.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I seem to remember. I've developed a headache.
I have an excellent ear. Perhaps the best in the country, certainly the best for violin, the most difficult of all instruments.
Do you play?
Don't look at my hands.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything, Mr. Wilson.
I can play with the best of them. From Paganini to Menuhin, any of them.
From the foreman of a farm in Glenville, a highway patrol officer secured information identifying the dead man as the owner of the farm, James Wilson. The officer also learned of Wilson's appointment with Eileen Haley. He immediately reported this and a description of the stolen car to Dan Matthews, who had been checking roadside gas stations and diners in the area. On learning that James Wilson was to have picked up Eileen Haley at her address in Stanfield, Matthews started for her house.
$12:01 to 2150.
2150 by.
Described car and woman passenger. Passed me approximately 1 hour ago. Going south at moderate speed. Man showed me Wilson's identification.
2150 to headquarters.
Go ahead, 2150.
Matter's going south on Highway 7. He's about 20, 25, 30 miles south of Stanfield. I'm proceeding south. 10-4?
10-4. Why are we stopping again, Mr. Wilson?
It's just easier to talk when I'm not driving.
Well, then would you like me to drive?
No. And another thing, stop looking at my hands. And at my shoes.
I'm not.
My clothes.
I'm not.
Do you find my hands unsuitable for the violin?
No.
Then stop looking at them. I'm sick and tired of having everyone look at my hands.
Shall we drive, Mr. Wilson?
I won't have it. I won't allow it. I won't tolerate it.
Nothing yet. checked every spot between here and from where they passed me.
Then they're still ahead of you. Keep checking.
You mean you've never heard of James Wilson, the violin virtuoso? At my last concert, I played the Paganini. There's nothing more difficult. Encore after encore. And you've never heard of me?
I have, Mr. Wilson.
Then why don't you applaud?
Let me go, let me go.
My bow hand. You've maimed it.
No.
Look what you've done. I'll never play again.
They haven't got by us.
Oh, they must have. They got by the last checkpoint. There's no crossroads between here and there.
I know there isn't, but...
Look, this is your territory. What do you know about it? Any dirt roads, a farm road, anything?
A dirt track alongside the underpass.
All right, you stay here. Let's you and I take a look. Come on.
I didn't hurt your hand. Please believe me, I didn't hurt it.
Ordinary people never understand. Maiming my hand is worse than killing, worse than murder. You've deprived the world of life, my creation of music.
Right ahead there.
Look! We might be too late already. Hold it. If she's alive, let's keep her that way. Dr. Hill told me what triggered him off. Now, Wilson's got a broken neck. We gotta get right on top of this guy before he can use his hands.
He probably heard the car when we drove up.
He figures we're gonna pass him. We'll pass him. All right, you drive. Slow.
A life for a life. It will be over quickly. My hand is strong.
Oh, hello there.
Hello?
Wait a minute. Your face is very familiar.
Well, that's possible. I'm not unknown. Do you ever go to concerts?
Violin recitals?
Yes. Carnegie Hall?
The violin virtuoso. You couldn't be. Believe me, sir, this is an honor.
Oh, you do remember my last concert at Carnegie Hall.
I'll never forget it.
Then, would you do me a favor? A great favor. Would you come back with me? There's a certain person I want you to tell that I did play there. He won't believe me, but he will believe you. Would you come?
Yeah, sure. Where is it?
Riverhead Hospital. You see, I hurt my hand, and they're trying to cure it.
How's the other one?
Oh, it's all right. As good as ever. All I want for is to have you vouch for me. Just to tell them that I did play there.
Yeah, sure. We'll go right away. Mrs. Haley, you stay here. Come on, let's take my car. Next week's Highway Patrol story is a very unusual one. I hope you'll be with us. Until then, remember, it isn't the car that kills, it's the driver. This is Broderick Crawford saying, see you next week.